Hello friends, welcome back to Circle Time. Did you enjoy your brain break? Excellent. Well, now it's time to read our daily message. Our daily message tells us what we're learning about today. Let's read today's message. Ready? Communities have people who help keep us safe. Okay, let's read it one more time. This time, you can read with me. I'll read and you can repeat. Ready? Communities have people who help keep us safe. Great job reading. Okay, before we talk about our message, we are going to be letter detectives. We are going to look for our letter of the week in our message today. Do you remember what letter we're learning this week? It makes the N sound. Do you remember what letter makes the N sound? If you said the letter N, you are correct. Today, we started learning about the letter N. The letter N makes the N sound. This is an uppercase N, and this is a lowercase n. We are going to look for an N in our daily message. Okay, I'll put the uppercase and lowercase N on the board. Perfect. Okay, now you need to put your detective goggles on. Great work. Can you find the letter N in our message? There's only one of them today. Can you find the one N in our message? Did you find the letter N? Awesome. Okay, we're going to look at our message together and see if we can find it. I'll use my pointer, and when I'm pointing to an N, you're going to say stop. There's only one today. Let's see if we can find it. We'll start at the top on the left, just like we read, and we'll move to the right. I'm looking for the letter N. The letter N makes the N sound. Did you say stop? Excellent work. This is the letter N. Here is the only N that's in our message. Is this an uppercase N or a lowercase n? It's a lowercase n. It has a line going down on the on the left, and it curves over to the right and back down. It's our lowercase n. Great job. Okay, now that we found the letter N, it's time to read our message one more time, and then we'll talk about it. Ready? Communities have people who help keep us safe. Today, we are talking about community helpers that keep us safe. There are many people in our community that keep us safe. They protect us from things that might hurt us. One community helper that keeps us safe is also one of our neighborhood helpers that we talked about. It's a lifeguard. How do lifeguards keep us safe? Can you share with me? Those are some great answers. Lifeguards work at swimming pools, or sometimes they're even at certain beaches. Lifeguards help keep us safe when we're playing in the water. If someone's having trouble swimming while they're in the water, a lifeguard will jump in and save them so they don't get hurt. Another community helper that we have is someone who works in the military. They not only keep our community safe, but they keep our entire country safe. They keep us safe from people that may live far away, or even people that may live in our country that try to harm us in some way. Our military community helpers are extremely important. Another community helper that keeps us safe are police officers. Police officers are found everywhere in a community, and you'll even see them in your neighborhood sometimes. They keep us safe from the bad people that may live close to our home, that may be trying to hurt us in some way. They also keep us safe in other ways, like when we're driving on the road. They stop people that may be breaking the law from hurting other people. Police officers are very important in our community. Let's add the word police officer to our word wall. Another community helper that helps keep us safe are firefighters. Do you know how firefighters help keep us safe? Go ahead, share with me. Yes, firefighters help keep us safe from fires. They put out fires around our community. A house may be on fire, or maybe a school, or some type of business. Firefighters put out fires to help keep us safe. They're also one of our first responders. When you call 911, usually the fire truck is the first vehicle to arrive, and the firefighters help those people that are in need. Let's add the word firefighter to our word wall. Today, we're going to take a closer look at firefighters and talk about fire safety. It's very important to understand fire safety. We can have fires at our house at any given moment. We never know what can happen. And it's important to know what to do if there's a fire wherever you are, whether it's at your house or at school or in a store. It's important to know what you should do to keep yourself safe and to help firefighters in case there's a fire. And we're going to do that by reading a story. It's a fun story. The title of today's book is No Dragons for Tea. We're going to have a dragon in our story. Is this a fiction or non-fiction story? Fiction stories are make-believe. Non-fiction stories are true. Is this story make-believe or is it true? Well, if there's a talking dragon in our story, it's a make-believe story. So this book is a fiction book. The author of today's book is Gene Pinzowol. He is the person who wrote all the words in our story. And the illustrator, the person who drew all the pictures, is Maritine Goldbolt. She drew all the pictures and colored all the pictures that we're going to see in today's story. Okay, are you ready to read today's book? Perfect. No Dragons for Tea. Fire safety for kids and dragons. One warm, sunny day at the end of last week, my mom and I went for a walk to the creek. As I raced down the hill in my little red wagon, look, she's racing down the hill in her little red wagon. Let's see what happens. I veered to the left and smacked into a dragon. I suppose he could see there was fear in my eyes as I jumped to my feet, quite filled with surprise. He sheepishly grinned and stepped out of the way, but he seemed so polite that I asked him to play. The little girl asked the dragon to play with her. Let's see what happens. He had a cute bear and some other toys too. With my shovel and pail, we'd have oodles to do. We ran to the creek and then on to the bay, where we played on the beach for the rest of the day. The little girl went to the beach with the dragon. Hey, look, she buried him in the sand. Do you think it would be fun to play with a dragon? Thank you for sharing. Then Mom waved and said, now it's time to go eat. Let's pack the red wagon and head up the street. It's hard to stop playing with friends, old or new. So I asked if the dragon could come to eat too. Do you think Mom's going to let the dragon go eat at home with them? Let's keep reading to find out. Mom wrinkled her brow and squinted her eyes, looking up at the dragon's incredible size. I begged and I pleaded, then said, very sweet, we won't make a mess. We'll be tidy and neat. So at last she said yes. Just this once, I'll agree. You may have the dragon come over for tea. We had carrots and apples, thick slices of ham, with fresh homemade biscuits and strawberry jam, cold glasses of milk, and a great big dill pickle. But the pepper we sprinkled sure made our nose tickle. Then the dragon's nose twitched and he started to wheeze. His eyes misted up and he blew a great sneeze. Achoo! Well, we all know what happens when dragons achoo. Flames shoot from his mouth and from both nostrils too. Oh no, the dragon sneezed and out came fire. What do you think is going to happen? Oh no, the dragon might start a fire in the house. Let's see. Our tablecloth sparked and then burst into flame, and the curtains that hung right beside did the same. The smoke alarm rang with a loud, piercing sound. It meant, get out fast, so I dropped to the ground. When there's fire in the house, the first thing the little girl did was drop to the ground. Let's see what she does next. The room filled with smoke, so I crawled on the floor and started to make my way to the front door. The dragon got scared and decided to hide. But I knew when there's fires, we must go outside. I grabbed his thick tail and with one mighty tug, I pulled the big dragon from under the rug. The little girl knows that when there's a fire in the house, you have to get out quick. You can't hide. The dragon tried to hide, but he has to go outside. He shouldn't stay in the house. I crept down the hallway and said, follow me. I know the way out. We must meet by the tree. So Mom and the dragon and I all met there. Then the silly old dragon went back for his bear. Should the dragon go back in a house that's on fire? He should not go back for anything. We ran up and caught him and wouldn't let go and said, listen, dragon, here's what you should know. Don't ever go back. That just will not do. We can get a new bear, but we can't replace you. Since the fire was burning inside of our home, we went to the neighbors to borrow the phone. Mom knew what to dial and said, calm and clear. Here's our full street address. Send the trucks here. What trucks are she calling for? She's calling for the fire trucks. Before very long, down our street they came sailing, with bright red lights flashing, loud sirens wailing. The fire crew rushed to start work on their task. They were dressed in big boots, wore helmets and masks. They hooked up the hose and ran into the house, where they sprayed streams of water in order to douse. The table, the curtains, our lovely snapped too, and it didn't take long till that fire was through. The fire chief called out the door with a shout. The smoke made a mess, but the fire is out. Here is a fire truck, and we see lots of firefighters. Remember, firefighters are community helpers that help keep us safe. They're using a big water hose to put out the fire, and they wear protective gear to keep them safe when they run to the fire. My poor friend the dragon knew he was to blame, so he hung down his head and wept great tears of shame. One of the fire crew said, "Don't be sad. You know what to do, And for that, we're quite glad. You all got out safely. That's really what matters. Then she took us to see the big pump truck and ladders. Oh, they get to see the fire truck. The dragon put on a shiny red hat, and I asked to see where their fire crew sat. She showed us the siren, the hoses and lights, and the ladders they climb up to reach higher heights. The rest of the fire crew checked all the rooms, while a fan in the door blew out great smoke and fumes. The little girl and her dragon friend got to see inside of the fire truck. Have you ever seen inside of a fire truck? Fire trucks are really cool. They have lots of equipment that firefighters can use in emergencies to help keep people safe. Then the dragon and we sat down for a while. I reached up and hugged him. He gave me a smile. The next time the dragon and I want to play, we'll pack up a picnic and go to the bay. We are friends, tried and true, the best we can be, but I'll never again invite dragons for tea. The little girl likes her dragon friend, even though he started a fire. She still wants to play with him, but she said she'll never have him over for tea again. Okay, now we're going to read a fire safety rhyme. It tells us what to do in case there's a fire. So listen carefully, because this is something you might need at your home in case there's a fire, or if you're somewhere else. The dragon's fire safety rhyme. When the smoke alarm sounds, here's what you should do. Leave your toys all behind, because there's only one you. So never run into a fire to get a toy or anything else. You can replace those things, but we can't replace you. Get down and stay low, crawling under the smoke, because breathing those fumes, it might make you choke. If your clothes catch on fire, don't run about. Stop, drop, and roll till the flames are all out. Now, when you stop, drop, and roll, you should try to get outside to do that. You don't want to stay in the house where there's a fire. Don't open a door if the handle feels hot. Find another way out to your planned meeting spot. So, before you grab a door handle, you should touch it really quick. If it's hot, you should not open the door, because that means there's probably fire on the other side. If the doorknob is hot, you should try another way to get out. Maybe through another door or a window. And you and your family should have a meeting spot outside. So if you're all in different places when the fire happens, you know exactly where to go so you'll all be together. Even when scared, you must never hide. And once you are out, don't go back inside. Did you enjoy our story, No Dragons for Tea? It's a fire safety book. Did you learn something about fire safety? Can you share it with me? What did you learn about fire safety today? Wow, you learned a lot about fire safety. Make sure you talk to your parents a little more about fire safety. Talk about if your fire alarms are working or where your meeting spot can be in case there is a fire and what you should do. It's very important to talk about fire safety because we never know when we'll need those skills. I hope you enjoyed our story and you learned a little more about community helpers that help keep us safe, and more specifically, firefighters and how they keep us safe, and what we can do to help make their job a little easier. Remember, if you ever have an emergency and you have a phone around you, you should dial 911. That's the emergency operators, and they'll let you know what you should do, and they'll call our community helpers that help keep us safe, to come to your rescue. Tomorrow, we're going to continue to learn more about community helpers. So make sure you join me for circle time tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye. Hi everyone. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button. And if you would like to see more videos just like this one from Miss April's classroom, make sure you click subscribe.